I'll call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of April 25th, 2024. Todd, will you take attendance?
Certainly. Would the representative from the Transportation Department please state his or her name for the record?
Amy Gordon?
Property Management Department?
Joseph Callahan.
Inspectional Services Department?
Brian Ronan.
Water and Sewer Commission?
Denise Devlin.
Commission for Persons with Disabilities?
Patricia Mendez.
We do not have someone representing Public Works today, but we do have a quorum.
All right. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, I will entertain a motion for the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held April 11th, 2024.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the PIC meeting on April 11th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Public hearing item number 1, on a joint petition by the City of Boston Public Works Department and the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel. Public may have had in the entirety of Jones Avenue Footway, Public Way, Dorchester, between Ballou Avenue and Norfolk Street. New business 4/11/2024 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan, Jones Avenue Pedestrian Bridge, Dorchester Neighborhood. 3 sheets dated September 2023.
Hey, good morning. Chairwoman, members of the commission. My name is Jeffrey Alexis with the Public Works Engineering Division. I'm joined here by my colleague, Dan Murphy, petitioning for the discontinuance of the Jones Avenue pedestrian bridge. Just want to provide a little background information on the project. Due to disrepair and poor condition of a slightly traveled pedestrian bridge over the MBTA commuter rail line, Public Works decided to close and demolish the bridge a few years ago. When public safety issues were brought to our attention, we determined that the best path forward would be to discontinue the public right-of-way, which resulted in 3 separate parcels. With discontinuance, the highway easements for these parcels will revert to the property owners. Parcels 1 and 3, which I'll show shortly, are owned by the Public Works Department, and parcel 2 is owned by the MBTA. As mitigation for the impacts to the neighborhood transportation network, Public Works has committed to making roadway and sidewalk improvements to this neighborhood in parallel with the costs to actually replace the bridge, and we're actively working to advertise this construction project later this year. Public Works is also in coordination with the Mayor's Department of Housing to transfer parcels that we own, parcels 1 and 3, to them for future development. With that, I will share my screen just to show you all see the PIC plans. All right, thank you. So yeah, just zooming in quickly, just showing these 3 parcels, the areas of discontinuance. This is the first PIC plan. It shows parcel 1, as you see here, which is adjacent to a City of Boston parcel, but this will be also owned by the Public Works, City of Boston. Parcel 2 here, let's see if I can use that one. Second one. Boom. Parcel 2 here, which would be owned by the MBTA, and parcel 3 here, which is also owned by Public Works, which these 2 we are proposing to transfer and work and coordinate with the Mayor's Housing Department in order to transfer those parcels to them. With that, I don't know if I would turn it over to my colleague Dan Murphy. I don't know if he has anything to say on this end, but with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chairwoman.
All right. Assuming Dan has nothing, any comments or questions by commission members? PIC staff or public?
I will use this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to ask questions or add testimony, please use the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. I see none at this time.
All right. I will entertain a motion on public hearing item number 1.
Make a motion to approve a joint petition by the City of Boston Public Works Department and the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have in the area of Jones Avenue Footway, as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Public hearing item number 2 on a petition by HB Trax Realty LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Hyde Park, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction with structural soil, as well as the new and relocated pedestrian ramp, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, green stormwater infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, bike racks, hydrants, driveway curb cuts, and raised crosswalk. River Street on the southerly side at address number 1318, generally west of Business Street south of River Street, new business 4/11/2024, is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, River Street, Business Street, 1318 River Street, Hyde Park, 4th Street, dated February 8th, 2024.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Chief Staff. Thank you for the introduction. Joe Conley of Howard Stein Hudson, civil engineer for the project, representing HB Trax Realty LLC. I am joined today by James Downing, Ian McKinnon, Howard Stein Hudson, the proponent Bobby Patel, and the project attorney John Porcini as spectators. We are petitioning for repairs related to our project at 1318 River Street in Boston's Hyde Park neighborhood. There have been no changes made to the plans since we last met for our second distance hearing. All comments were resolved prior to that. I'm happy to run through any of the improvements again or answer any questions. We have recently submitted hard copies of Baltimore Sewer and are currently awaiting our site plan approval. I know I've described most of the improvements previously, but just a quick summation. We're closing this curb cut on River Street, closing the curb cut on the corner of River and Business Street, modifying the curb cut on River Street to be used for the garage parking below the proposed development, sidewalk reconstruction along the entire frontage, permeable pavers on River Street, fire retention areas in the furnishing zone along Business Street, 3 street trees proposed along each frontage, a raised pedestrian crossing across the Business Street intersection, and 1 new street light as well as 1 relocated street light. I think that just covers it. Anyone has any questions?
Questions or comments by commission members? PIC staff or public?
I'm going to pause now to see if anybody from the public would like to add testimony or ask questions. Seeing and hearing none, I think we're all set.
All right, I will entertain a motion on public hearing item number 2.
I make a motion to approve a petition by HB Trax Realty LLC for the making of specific repairs in the area of River Street and Business Street as further, read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
On to public hearing item number 3, on a petition by Arnold Arboretum of Harvard University for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in West Roxbury, consisting of curb and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramp, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, landscaping, storm drain infrastructure, and bollards. Bussey Street generally at Walter Street and South Street, Walter Street generally at Bussey Street, and South Street generally at Bussey Street. New business 4/11/2024 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plans, 125 Arbor Way, Walter Street, and Bussey Street, and South Street to be opened, 4 sheets dated April 2024.
Good morning, Chairwoman and PIC staff. Thank you for, sorry, getting a little feedback. Thank you for hearing us today. My name is Danny Schisler. I serve as Head of Operations and Project Management at the Arnold Arboretum. I'm here on behalf of the Arboretum to present this project, which proposes improvements to two of our historic entrances, one at the intersection of Walter and Bussey Street, and one at the intersection of South and Bussey Street. The improvements comprise restoration of the historic gateways, pillars, and stone walls, removal of impervious surface and the addition of planting beds, new signage, and hardscape treatment, bollards, and within the right-of-way, reconstruction of sidewalks, pedestrian ramps, the addition of street lighting in collaboration with Street Lighting Division. Since we last presented, there have not been any changes to the plans besides noting some points regarding reciprocal ramps, for which we are seeking a MAAB variance. If that variance is not received, the Arboretum is committed to reconstructing those ramps. And I will turn things over to Jess Walla, Niche Engineering, our civil engineer for the project.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, commissioners. So yeah, Danny, you basically summarized everything. We had coordinated all comments previously, and the one outstanding comments was regarding the reciprocal ramp. So this one ramp at Walter across Bussey Street, which had some slightly non-compliant slopes, and then the reciprocal ramp across Bussey Street at Poplargate. So the team submitted the variance, I believe last week, and are waiting for the hearing. And if that is not granted, then these, as Dan described, these will be reconstructed. All other items, I believe, have been settled. We've coordinated with Boston Water and Sewer, street lighting, and all other agencies. So I think those were the only outstanding comments regarding ramps. Is there anything that I should speak to? I know we went into this pretty detailed at the last hearing.
Are there questions or comments by commission members, or anything additional you'd like to see? PIC staff or public?
Do you have any idea on the timeline for that variance application?
It was submitted on Friday. Jess or Suran, do you have any sense of when the hearing for that would be?
That would be May, I think it's on this May 6th agenda.
Great, thank you.
Great. Can you just make that decision and update the plans as necessary before submitting Mylar, if that's all right with you?
Yep, that makes sense.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion on public hearing item number 3.
Make a motion to approve a petition by Arnold Arboretum of Harvard University for the making of specific repairs in the area of Bussey, Walter, and South Streets, as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, public hearing item number 4, on a petition by Marathon Fiber Networks LLC for a grant of location with a lead company status and 5 participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Boston proper: Bedford Street between Chauncey Street and Kingston Street, Chauncey Street generally at the side of 1 Summer Street, northeast of Bedford Street, in business 4/11/2024, shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, grant of location plan 1 Summer Street project, Chauncey Street, Bedford Street, Boston, 3 sheets dated April 4th, 2024.
Yes, good morning, Bill Conway, Access Engineering, representing Marathon Fiber. We're proposing to intercept the existing level 3 duct bank at the intersection of Bedford Street and Kingston Street, and installing approximately 520 feet of 6 4-inch conduits, 1 for city shadow, to the existing level 3 manhole on Chauncey Street that feeds 1 Summer Street. We'll also be adding 2 4x4 manholes to support the project. We have 4 joint
Do you have plans that reflect your run?
I believe I'm showing them, no?
Nope.
I apologize. go. I may have shared that originally.
Now we see it.
Okay. We also have 4 joint French participants, including AT&T, LightPath, RCN, Zayo. We did have Crown Castle, but they have backed out. And then pending, we had notification from ForwardX Communications that they are interested in joining in on this joint French as well. Any questions or concerns?
Questions or comments by commission members? PIC staff or public?
I think we're all set on this.
All right, I will entertain a motion on public hearing item number 4.
Motion to approve a petition by Marathon Fiber Networks LLC for a grant of location in the area of Bedford Street and Chauncey Street as further read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that concludes public hearings. New business. New business item number 1, 47 to 55 LaGrange Street, Tamworth Street, Tremont Street, Boylston Street, Boston proper pedestrian easement specific repairs on a set of petitions by FPG LaGrange Owner 1 LLC.
Good morning, my name is Jill Poshman. I am very happy to be here this morning representing my client, FPG LaGrange Owner 1, who is the developer for the project located at 55 LaGrange Street. This is a 22-story multifamily building with 167 condo units and 1,500 square feet of retail space. No on-site parking. I'm here today with our civil engineer on the project, John Schmidt with Niche Engineering, to further explain what we're here for pedestrian easement and specific repairs.
Thank you, Jill. Good morning, Commissioner. Again, this is John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. This is an unusual project in the sense that here we are in 2024 seeking PIC approval for a project that was substantially completed in 2022. So for a little bit of the history, design and permitting this project started back in 2017. Construction was from 20 to 2022. We started the PIC process in 2020. And then in late 2020, we got bogged down in the PIC process because there's a lot of conversation between ownership and the city about off-site improvements and mitigations. And for reasons that I wasn't part of, conversations I wasn't part of, the city allowed the project to pull a building permit in late 2020 with the understanding that they could not receive their permanent certificate of occupancy until the PIC approvals are completed, as well as the work associated with that. So we were re-engaged back in 2023, and we met with Todd probably late last year, redid the notifications, completed the engineer's report, and here we are today. The next drawing will show the work that's been completed to date and the work that still remains. So in yellow is the work that's been completed to date, and that was completed with the building project itself. The peach at the intersections here at LaGrange and Tremont and Boylston at Tamworth are work that was the off-site improvements that were part of the negotiation, and these are 2 tabletop crosswalks that have been designed per the city's request. And then this little green section here was part of the original ask, but the abutter to this project performed this work over the last couple of years. To dig into the weeds of what the specific repairs are, is LaGrange Street has been reconstructed. LaGrange Street sidewalk has been reconstructed with a 6.5-foot concrete sidewalk. We have 2 new streetlights. We still are obligated to provide an additional streetlight, and this is coordination I've done recently with Boston Streetlight. On Tamworth Street, we have a 4.5-foot wide sidewalk that's very tight, but with that we have a 1.8-foot wide pedestrian easement that allows the 4.6 wide. And then we have a mid-block crosswalk here. The reason we cannot continue north on Lowell is because we don't have adequate space here, as well as Lowell Court is a private way, and this land is privately owned. At the request of the city, we did apply for a variance to the state for a mid-block crosswalk, but after conversations with Mr. Joyce, he told us the variance wasn't warranted because we don't have access to this anyways. So we withdrew that variance and shared that information with the city and are proceeding with be committed to providing a mid-block crosswalk to allow pedestrian access, a place to go once they reach here, they can cross and go north. The next is the intersection of Camsworth, where we have the flush sidewalk, flush crosswalk at the intersection. LaGrange at Tremont, flush crosswalk at the intersection. And then here is the drawing for the pedestrian easements. That's about 1.8 feet wide. That runs down into it. That's the project in a nutshell. Happy to entertain any questions.
Questions or comments by commission members?
That's right. I thought the comment was no on-site parking. Is there parking designated somewhere else nearby?
Yeah, in the agreement, I understand that parking is being provided at the building.
Yeah, the building across the street. Yeah, the Ava, which is located directly across the street, has sufficient parking, and that's where most residents have chosen to rent space.
Additional comments from commission members? PIC staff or public?
All set, I think.
All right, I assume that the 5 years plus 2 weeks will be enough time?
I certainly hope so.
Do our best.
All right, well, we'll see you in 2 weeks for the
Thank you.
exciting conclusion.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
New business item number 2, 190 Dudley Street, Roxbury, specific repairs on a petition by Arena Enterprises, Inc.
Madam Chair and Commission members, I am Maddie Blanchard with Howard Stein Hudson. We're the civil engineer performing the PIC permitting work for the project here at 190 Dudley Street. I am joined today by members of Arena Enterprises, the developer, and Presco Associates, the project architect. So the project site consists of 2 parcels today, totaling 8,743 square feet of land located in Roxbury. The project site's located on the north side of Dudley Street between Harrison Avenue and Winslow Street. The existing site today is occupied by a 1-story commercial building, bordered by a mixed-use building on the west and a park to the east. The proposed project consists of the demolition of the existing building and the construction of a new 5-story mixed-use building totaling 32,540 gross square feet. The first floor of the development will consist of commercial space and a bike room, and floors 2 through 5 will contain 28 residential units. The proposed project consists of some work within the public right-of-way of Dudley Street. This work consists of closing 2 driveway curb cuts, the installation of a 3-foot-wide furnishing zone that consists of permeable pavers, and maintaining a minimum 5-foot-wide continuous sidewalk. There's no changes to any of the Boston water and sewer infrastructure within the right-of-way or the street lighting within the right-of-way adjacent to the project site. And with that, I will open it up to any questions or comments.
Questions or comments by commission members? PIC staff or public?
The project is in a very good place with all of the agency coordination. I believe there may be some minor comments from the BPDA that will need to be addressed in the next 2 weeks, but we expect that should be plenty of time to finish that up.
Certainly.
All right, so we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. New business item number 3, 125 Tremont Street, Boston proper, vertical discontinuance, specific repairs on a set of petitions by Holocaust Legacy Foundation.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, and staff. My name is Mike Ross. I'm an attorney for the Holocaust Legacy Foundation. These are the nonprofit owners of this property. Team that will be working with our general contractor, Kennedy, to get this Holocaust Museum built. I'm here with John Schmidt of Niche Engineering, who will be turning this over. I'll turn this over to him in 1 second. We're here on specific repairs relating to security bollards for the safety of the property and visitors. That will be shown to you in a minute on the sidewalk in front of the building, as well as a vertical discontinuance of this protruding bay on the front of the building on Tremont Street, as well as a screen facade that you'll see in a moment. We're in the process of getting that appraised, and we'll also be seeking exemption for payment of that discontinuance for this nonprofit. I'll also note that we're working on an administrative item with staff for the areaway. At this point, I'll turn it over to Mr. Schmidt of Mitch Engineering.
Thank you, Michael. So here are some renderings that will help describe some of the things Michael just mentioned. This is the proposed building here. This is one of the discontinuance, which is a window bay that projects at the corner of Hamilton and Tremont. And then you can see the wire mesh finishes along the base of the building. Here's another view from the common. Here's another view from across the street. And here's a nice plan rendering. So this is the sidewalk improvements here. This is existing head house. These are the bollards that we are proposing. And we'll get into, there's also a curb cut here on Hamilton for deliveries. It's only 7 foot wide, so it's for window deliveries in parking. The specifics of Tremont Street improvements, the concrete sidewalk ranges in width between 9.2 and 22 feet. We are adjusting the curb line at the intersection here, but I must say we do still have a couple of loose ends with this project that we'll be addressing in the next 2 weeks. One of those has to do with the actual locations of the bollards, and we hope to meet with the facilities as well as Public Works to confirm and come to agreement on that exact location. We also need to revisit this curved corner a little bit here because our butter to the rear of Hamilton has very large delivery vehicles, 67-foot tractor trailers that come in, and this journey movement presently as designed doesn't work. So we need to take a look at this and possibly move the curve back to its current location. But these are things we're working on in these 2 weeks. Again, Tremont sidewalk varies between 9 to 22 feet wide. We are also working with the Disabilities Commission on reciprocal ramps and with the extent of those improvements. We have a question out to Sarah, but I'm just going to be out of the office for a little while, so we'll have to work these out with Patricia. We also provide these bike racks this off-site right here. On Hamilton Place, which is a private way, we have a 9 foot wide sidewalk. Again, we have a 7 foot loading ramp right here. And we have a below-grade recharge system right here. There's also an existing areaway that Michael mentioned earlier that we are in the process of providing license agreement for that. Understanding that's an administrative process. Moving to the vertical discontinuance, this again is the window bay that we expect to be doing that showed you shortly. It begins approximately. It's about 30 feet above grade and ranges about 30 feet above the sidewalk and ranges from elevation 87 up 107. And the next drawing here is the wire mesh that we spoke to. That projects into the public way about 1.8 feet. It's even 16 feet above the sidewalk. And that's all about 114 square feet. Yeah, that's the extent of the improvements that we're proposing. Any questions?
Well, I'll start with, you probably noticed our signal equipment out front of this don't match the facade of this new building, as we have, I think, a direct overhead bed that goes from the cabinet to a signal.
Okay.
If you look out there, it's pretty ugly right now. So
okay.
In respecting a new, yeah, you can see it in that picture. Right? But we have a cabinet that's in the middle of the sidewalk, and then we've lost the below grade connection, and it is fed directly overhead from the cabinet into the signal. In the next 2 weeks, come talk with me and Signals and see if we can. I'm not going to ask for anything super expensive here, but maybe we can get that looking better.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Especially if you have the sidewalk ripped up, maybe we could at least get the connection between the two back underground. In a perfect world, the cabinet would move because it's in a terrible spot at the entrance of this and more, but that might be a little bit more complicated.
Okay. Yep, so we will meet with you about the traffic signals and find a resolution.
Yeah, it's Wilson, right, that we're gonna really need for this one, because I think that we're gonna have to get a little creative.
Okay. Yeah, there's the project requires some creativity. And Patricia, I see that you're here, so I'd like to meet with you and someone from Public Works. I know John Monticello had some comments, so maybe the three of us will get together and figure out and finalize the ramp design and the bollard layout for Radiac.
Yeah, I think it was William actually, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm happy to meet.
Okay.
And the concern that we have, it's also basically about the design of the building too, because we think it's a great project. It looks beautiful in the rendering. We're very excited about the building, but we're still concerned about having the bollards and the public right of way, trying to protect the building, but the building itself has a glass facade that looks pretty vulnerable. So we would like to discuss considering to put something that more sturdy instead of the glass, so we don't have to have the bollards outside. We would love to have more conversations with the design team.
Okay. I'll reach out to you and try to set up a meeting for next week.
Perfect. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
I just should say, I mean, I just want to set expectations. I think what we're working on here is to make sure that the bollards meet accessible guidelines and the crosswalks and anywhere where the public might go. So what we've done is we've expanded it to 5 feet to provide that access, which I know is the minimum, but it's just the bollard. We've seen examples across the city of very sensitive sites that need that security. But I don't think changing the facade and the materials of this building is a likely thing that we're going to do. I just want to be transparent. I don't want to say yes here at the pick and then say no privately. I just think we'll work with you. We'll do everything we can to make this building accessible. It is very accessible. There's a separate experience within the building so that if you're actually in a wheelchair, you get the exact same kind of immersive experience. Not exact, but pretty much almost exactly the same as someone who would be walking through the building, really taking those steps, working with the commission on that. But I think for the bollards, those are going to have to stay there. We can work with where they're placed, and we're creating these 5-foot openings, but I just wanted to say that.
Am I allowed to say something as the owner? I just want to touch on what Mike said. The reason for the bollards are not so much to protect the building, but my biggest concern is protecting the pedestrians and the public who will be walking by, even the ones who are not coming to our building, who are just coming out of that train station and going to work. So for me, the bollards are really to protect.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an issue though for us because, right, like our intention is not to have bollards protecting pedestrians along all public right-of-ways. So, right, where a bollard is right, something that we go to if there's something specific that keeps getting hit or, right, like is likely in a weird spot, but it's not our intention to just add bollards at every curb line for that reason. So if there's a reason here that we want to protect and maybe we can limit this to just the corner, having bollards in front of a traffic signal doesn't make much sense. You're protecting the traffic signal, not a pedestrian, right? And we have streetlights and all this other equipment, so maybe if they were just on the corner, which is where you might find yourself accidentally, but right, there's a lot of, we're kind of creating weird things that people have to walk around in cases where it's not really protecting anybody.
No, I think that, thank you for that explanation.
Sure. The purpose of the bollards is because of this. We're working with Kroll Security. Kroll Security is because of the site, what's inside, the sensitivity, the fact that it's a target, the Holocaust Museum, unfortunately, in this world and day and age. So we're worried, like Jody said, that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just think that there's some spots where we're putting bollards where they're not protecting the building or people, right? Because there's other stuff there. And so if we maybe just limit those, there will be less and you'll have the same level of protection.
I see what you're saying. Okay, good point. Thank you. That's right.
Any other questions by commissioners? PIC staff or public?
I did have one request to have the project explore potentially rotating the proposed bike racks 45 degrees to just maybe get the bikes a little bit less in the way of the sidewalk, understanding that there's a head house and some other infrastructure right there. So if you could take a look at that in the next 2 weeks. And then to summarize everything that has been said here, it sounds like final coordination with BTD, with the Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and with the BPDA all need to be finalized in the next 2 weeks as well. So hopefully we can get that done before the public hearing.
We hope so too. We'll see you.
All right, see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you very much.
And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.